Right, we've covered off advanced segments. Now we're starting to look at the out-of-the-box reports and then next, custom reports. One of the biggest frustrations of analytics is getting overwhelmed by data and essentially falling foul of the decision paralysis trap. The good news is that these reports allow you to hone in on specific areas where there's so much actionable insight to be had, and you can avoid the whole decision paralysis problem that blights analytics users the world over. We're going to look at the search queries report, nestled away in your acquisitions and AdWords report view. What's so good about the search queries report? Well, we're seeing behaviour and commercial data at campaign, ad group and keyword levels. We can apply our advanced segments. We can start overlaying the custom segments that we built earlier, and of course going forwards when we build new ones in the future. And we can view keyword data by landing page, query type and query length. A few drawbacks are that if you're an Excel junkie or a spreadsheet person, then pulling the data from these views is a little bit clunky. Also, if you have campaigns with lots of ad groups, then sorting via the secondary dimensions isn't ideal, although you can pull this data down to a spreadsheet to work on. But ultimately, the pros far outweigh the cons. I also like this report view because we can analyse beyond conversion totals and conversion rates, which is particularly important for e-commerce stores. We can look at search queries that triggered the ad click, not just the keyword, and assess performance based on the additional metrics we have available to us in analytics. You can pull some of this data back into AdWords, but not all of it. Hence why I'm a big fan of AdWords and analytics in combination. In fact, if Google as a business entered the wrestling arena, these two would be the dream tag team. Yeah, anyway. So, jumping over to analytics and to the acquisition, AdWords and search queries report view. Let's put a secondary dimension for ad groups in so we can go a layer deeper than just the top level campaigns. Then filter by the top spending ad groups here. It'll make our life easier when sorting this data. So in this example, we're looking at query match type as the primary dimension. In a perfect world, we'd have an AdWords account made up of only exact match keywords. But as ever, our world is less than perfect, so at times we have to blend some phrase and broad into our strategy. This report is good because we can move away from looking at conversion rates and total conversions in AdWords. A prime example of why we need this data is that if we see a high conversion rate, we might assume to spend more on that area, right? Wrong. A higher conversion rate doesn't have to correlate with a higher ROI. It's a common trap to fall in, and people talk about optimizing for conversion rates all the time, but they don't look at the underlying commercial data. So we're not going to fall for that mistake. This test data that we're looking at is a bit unexciting, so we've covered off the pros and cons. Let's quickly switch across to a live example.